I wanted to relive the old days with my ex, she said. No tears. No hesitation. Just calm honesty, as if she were confessing to breaking a dish, not breaking a marriage. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My heartbeat stuttered in my chest, and everything around me, our kitchen, the ticking clock, the faint scent of burnt coffee, blurred into meaningless noise. My throat felt dry, my hands numb. Yet somehow, I found my voice. Okay, I said quietly. Now I'll decide how to relive mine. She blinked, startled by my calmness. Maybe she expected shouting, maybe she wanted guilt. But all I gave her was silence, a silence that unnerved her more than any rage could. I watched her fidget with the hem of her sweater, the same one I bought her last Christmas. My mind flickered back to that morning. Her laughter, her arms around my neck, the way she said, "You always make me feel safe." Now those words felt like someone else's memory. When I asked why, she sighed as if exhausted by my confusion. It wasn't about love, Alex. It was about remembering who I was before all this. Before the bills, the routine, before we got stuck. Before me, she meant. I wanted to ask if he made her feel alive. If the nostalgia was worth shattering what we'd built. But the words lodged in my throat, replaced by something colder, detachment. She spoke again, softer now. It just happened once. I swear. I didn't plan it. Her voice trembled slightly, and for a fleeting second, I almost believed her. Almost. But I remembered the subtle signs, the sudden secrecy of her phone, the long yoga classes, the faint cologne that wasn't mine. The pieces had been there all along, I just refused to assemble them. I walked past her, poured a glass of water, and leaned against the counter. Once is enough, I murmured. She flinched. The kitchen light flickered, catching the tear rolling down her cheek. I wanted to hate her. God, I wanted it to be that simple. But anger wouldn't come. Instead, a strange emptiness filled its place, heavy and vast. I thought of the years we'd spent together. The road trips, the lazy Sunday mornings, the quiet moments when her hand found mine in the dark. Were they all lies, or just casualties of time? You don't understand, Alex, she whispered. He reminded me of who I used to be, wild, free, reckless. With you, everything became so predictable. Her words sliced deeper than she knew. Predictable. The man who cooked dinner, who held her when nightmares came, who saved for the house she wanted, that man was now a symbol of boredom. I laughed bitterly, a sound that didn't feel like mine. So you traded stability for nostalgia? She didn't answer. The silence pressed between us like fog, thick and suffocating. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in the living room, staring at the muted glow of the streetlights bleeding through the curtains. My thoughts spun. What does a man do when his world collapses not with thunder, but with a whisper? I thought of leaving. I thought of revenge. I thought of forgiveness, though the word tasted foreign. Mostly, I thought of how love could rot quietly, like fruit on the counter. Perfect on the outside until you touch it and your fingers sink in. When dawn finally came, she was still awake too, sitting by the window. Her eyes were swollen, her face pale. For the first time in years, she looked like a stranger in my home. Alex, she said softly, can we fix this? I studied her, searching for something, remorse, hope, even shame. But all I saw was fear. Not fear of losing me, but fear of facing what she'd done. No, I said finally. We can't fix something you stopped valuing. She started crying then, silent and desperate, her shoulders shaking. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No pity. Just the weight of finality. I'll move out tonight, she said. I nodded, then stood up. Before you do, I have something for you. Her eyes lifted, confused. I walked to the study, opened the drawer, and took out an envelope. Inside were photos, ones I'd found 2 weeks ago. She didn't know I'd already discovered everything. Pictures of her and him, smiling outside a cafe, her hand resting on his thigh. Proof I'd kept quietly, waiting for her to come clean. I placed them on the table. She froze. Her lips parted, her breath caught. You knew. For a while, I said. I wanted to hear the truth from you, not your lies. Her face crumpled. Why didn't you confront me? Because I wanted to see if you'd choose honesty over guilt. The look she gave me, shame, regret, panic, was almost enough to break me. Almost. I was going to end it, she whispered. I swear, I was. But you didn't, I said, turning toward the door. You just waited for me to find out. As I stepped outside, the morning air bit at my skin, sharp and clean. I walked down the street aimlessly, the city waking around me, cars humming, birds cutting through the gray sky. Everything was moving forward, indifferent to the wreckage behind me. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. The pain was still there, deep and raw, but beneath it was clarity. A realization that I didn't need to destroy myself to make her understand what she'd lost. She wanted to relive the old days. I would, too, but differently. I would relive the days before her, when I still believed in my worth, in my dreams, in love uncorrupted by deceit. When I returned home that evening, she was gone. Her side of the closet empty, her perfume still faintly lingering in the air. I stood there for a long time, breathing in the silence. Then I whispered to no one, "Goodbye, Emily." For the first time in years, the word goodbye didn't hurt. It felt like the start of something I'd forgotten I could have. Peace.